Great. Good to see you virtually. Could I get any injury updates that you might have, please?
Injuries at the moment practically stay the same. Harrison Reed's trained with us the last couple of days, but as of the other guys, Anderson, Tete, Angola, and Onoma, all still on the treatment table. So yeah, I can't see that changing shortly.
With Anderson, Scott, obviously you sadly had to break the news this time last week about the injury. You were a bit uncertain about how long it might be. Are you any more certain now?
I mean, I'm apprehensive to actually put a real timescale on it. I think it is going to be a number of weeks. But like anything, it wasn't as bad as probably we first suspected. But in saying that, he's damaged his ankle ligament. So it's there has been improvement, and it's an ongoing one day by day, really. And so yeah, but I can't see it. I can't see it being a real quick turnaround, as in days or in next coming week. So, but we'll see. Obviously, like anything, these things can change. Obviously, the way that people recover, how they improve, with treatments these days can be quite drastic. So that's why I'm very apprehensive about giving a real time scale on it.
Well, so you announced your Premier League list, Scott. Some names missing. How hard a decision is it when you have to do that?
Yeah, very hard. It's tough decision. Obviously, we've left with a lot of numbers, and I've had to make a decision on what I think is best and how we need to go about it. So a tough decision, because the players I've obviously left out that I know can help us as well, really. But these things are in place, and I was left with a number of players to make a call on, really. So yeah, of course it's not been easy, but it is what it is, and they're a decision you have to make, and we've made them now, and we now go with the 25 what I've selected.
Obviously with Jean Michel, Sarri, record signing, fair to say it hasn't worked out the way that everyone would have hoped?
Not really. I don't. Obviously, I think Mika came here 18 months ago. Was part of the last time he was in the Premier League. Since then, I took over back end of that. Mika went on loan to Galatasaray. I've worked with the group and stuff like that. And but Mika's come back into the squad and has done very well. And he starts a new slate at this moment in time. He's not been brought into the 25-man squad. Why? Because I decided to not do that, and I decided to go with others. But it's now down to Mika in the next 9 weeks, and that's all it is. It's 9 weeks to train well and to get me thinking that come January there's an option. He's a top quality player, but at this present moment in time, I didn't see that place for him. Now that certainly can change come January, but ultimately it's down to Mika and how he reacts to this decision. And he's a very good professional, and he's been first class since he's been back. So I suspect that will be the case now between now and January. When January comes, we see where we are. We see where Mika feels, and obviously and myself, and we'll have them discussions. So I don't think of course, when he was here, we got relegated. He then left, and people can see that he's probably not gone as well. But I don't mean to say that he's dead and buried here. Certainly not with me. This decision I had to make, and I've made it. It's now on to the next 9 weeks, and we'll see where we're in January.
When you have stalwarts as well, like for example, Stefan and Kevin, makes it even harder in a way, doesn't it?
Yeah, very difficult, because Stefan and Kev have been here for a long time, and have contributed a lot to this football club and this football team, really. And the same goes to them. Like I said about Mika, the same goes to them. I've had to make a decision here, and they understand that decision. And I have no doubt that both of them will be exactly the same as Mika in that sense. Will we'll work hard in the next 9 weeks and prove that decision wrong and try and influence it come January. So, and we'll see. But yeah, of course, some decisions are difficult.
Alexander Mitrovic is a tough character. Is he okay after last weekend? Have you had to have a word with him?
No, he's fine. Look, listen, he was bitterly disappointed. He was very quiet after the game. What you'd suspect from any player. He had a bad game last game, in the sense of bad game as in his eyes, and this is what can happen. I said that after the game. This is what happens in football. It can happen to any player. You know, at times you can have one of them days, and Alex will be the first to put his hand up and say that was his day, and it didn't go well for him. I said after that what will be the making of with him, and how you react to them adverse times or them bad times as such are the real character of people and what will determine them. So of course he was quiet the after the game and the next day even, but since then, someone who's been truly focused on the weekend and obviously putting a better performance than, or I say performance, I don't want to say that, because his overall performance was good. So it wasn't about the actual performance, it was in terms of what he's going to judge himself on, and centre forwards judge yourself on goals and obviously missing a penalty and a couple of chances, what he'd suspect to be honest with you, what he put in on another day he didn't. So but listen, I know what he's made of, and I know what he's about, and he'll be fine.
It's almost possible, not quite, but almost possible to say the youngest head coach manager in the Premier League versus the oldest. Sadly, Scott, you're not the youngest. That's Mikel. But you're nearly there. But certainly Roy Hodgson's the oldest, very experienced. What do you think of the job he's doing at Palace? Yeah,
fantastic job. You know, I played under Roy for a short space of time with England, and a well-detailed, organised coach. And I think you see that in his Crystal Palace team, really. So, full credit that he's still looking as young as what he is, to be honest with you, after all these years as being a manager and the stresses that brings. He's done remarkably well, really. I have full respect and admiration for Roy and what he's doing at Crystal Palace and their team. And you know, I think everyone knows when you come up against a Roy Hodgson team, you come up against a well-disciplined, well-organised team that can cause you problems.
Just a final one from me. Got any thoughts at all on a European Super League?
No thoughts really. I'm not really got into that or looked into it. So yeah, I wouldn't have enough knowledge to comment on that really.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks, Gary. Do we have Emma Saunders, Premier League Productions?
Thanks, Camillo. Hi, Scott. Hope you're doing well. Just going back to the 25-man squad, how pleased are you with your weaponry, if you like? And do you feel like it's a stronger squad than last time round? Do you think you've got a better chance this time round?
I'm pleased with my squad. I'm pleased with where we are and what we've done and the business we've done. In terms of comparing the last squad to this squad, I'm reluctant to do that. Last squad was very good as well. Some world-class players in that team as well. So I think, like always, for me, a name on a piece of paper is not the difference between top teams and teams that are successful. And as much as, of course, it helps, I think that the cohesion, what you have amongst the team and how that team are developing is the most important thing. And, I feel that over the last few weeks, I see a team on the up, I see a team moving forward, progressing well. And what pleases me the most, loads of learning to do, still loads of improving to do, but a group of players here come in every day wanting to fight and learn and keep working hard. And with that, you have half a chance we will have half a chance this year of staying in this division. And that's where we are, really. So that's the most important thing for me.
You said after the draw at the weekend, you feel like you appear to be coming out the struggles that you've had. How much would a win this weekend really cement that idea and push you on?
Well, yeah, of course. Obviously, you want to win football matches, and obviously I I felt like we deserved to win last weekend. And the game before that against Wolves, you come out with a draw in that game as well. So there's massive improvement, and I feel there's been more. We've been very, very close. And of course, come the weekend against Crystal Palace now, it's a game we're looking at to try and take points out of. Okay, they've done very well and got some very good results. And they're a very good, experienced team with a very well coached and a very good manager. So we understand the difficulties that brings. But in saying that, I see my team in the right frame and pushing in the right directions to get a result. And hopefully we can do that. We can apply ourselves like we have over the last few games, and we can set amongst it a little bit and put our stamp on the game and try and get a result.
Just finally from me, Scott, I suppose with that, the biggest statement you could make would be stopping Wilfried Zaha this weekend. 4 goals in 5 games. You'll be all too aware of the threat that he poses.
Yeah, massive threat. A big part of how Crystal Palace play in terms of counter-attacks, transitions, and he's arguably one of the best in the league in terms of that. Given the turnover on the transitions, he can hurt you and punish you really. So, and you've seen that. So, of course, he's one of a few players Crystal Palace have in their armoury. What can cause you problems, and we need to be fully aware of that.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
Thanks, Emma. We'll complete the broadcast section with Nick Godwin, BBC London.
Hiya, Scott. Good to talk to you. Earlier in the season, we were talking about how much your team's having to learn at the moment, given the situation they find themselves in. How's that going, do you think? How are you seeing these players learning from mistakes and improving and taking on board what you're saying?
Yeah, definitely. That's what pleased me the most, really. I understand, of course, that I'm in a role where it's win or lose and you're judged on that, of course, and I get that. And I get sometimes you don't have time in them situations, but certainly we need to learn quick. We've come up from the Championship to where we was 4th last year to now the Premier League, and I think I've said it before, we're learning on the job at times here, and the players have been first class in that, worked tirelessly. International break, give us time to work a little, and every day now working, and I do see massive improvements. I see people quickly understanding what it's going to take this year. What you can get away with last year and what you can get away with this year is very, very different. So how you approach certain issues or certain situations in games are very, very different. And like I say, that's about learning and learning quick. And I do see a real team that are doing that. I think first and foremost, what you need a willingness to understand where the mistakes are and a willingness to then try and improve and not shirk away from that or feel nervous about that. Admit where we are at certain times as players and as a football team, and you admit that, and then get to grips with exactly how you tackle it and how you can improve on it. You've got half a chance, and that's what pleases me the most, really, because I do see a group of players, and I see a team that every time we've maybe not got a result or we've not done well, we have had certain situations, real open-eyed and real willing to go, okay, right, look, this is where we need to do better and this is how we're going to do it. And then obviously actually executing that on the training ground and improving on it.
And I suppose, you're going to have to try and be patient to a degree. Trouble is, no one's really going to be patient with you. So, I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? Because what you feel is going to be pushed onto some of these players quite naturally. You can do what you can to shield them from it, but it's going to come, isn't it?
It may be. It will never come from me because I'm very real in that. I understand the situation. I understand how you get better, and I think I often say that I understand what you're saying, and of course, Nick, I totally get that. I get that. Regarding me, I'm going to be judged on win or lose, and that's going to determine whether I'm successful, whether I have a job, whether I don't have a job. But ultimately, what's important to me is working out very quickly how we get results, and how we get results is not losing that ability and not losing that faith in what you're doing, and not losing faith in the process. And whether that process is take too long for me, as in me in general, then That's the way it is, but that's the only way to improve, and that's the only way to get results. So, of course, trying to speed up them and trying to get them there quicker, or that's down to hard work and tireless hours of trying to do that and working out ways to do that. But there is no magic formula. There's no magic formula to all of a sudden errors what are occurring or what did occur. If that could instantly change, then of course life would be pretty easy. That's not the case. What normally the case is stick to processes, stick to what you know is right, stick to them and keep improving. Of course, we all hope that maybe that comes quicker, and that's down to me. Of course, it is. But ultimately, I'm not going to. I don't want to push that onto the players. I'll never push that onto the players. I know where we are. I understand fully where we are. I get there's, early on, certainly there was noise around us, and there will be noise around us because that comes with the last time we was in this division and what we spent and what goals we let in and what we didn't let in. I get there's that little bit of a noise, and that's probably going to influence people in how they see us again this year. One big result loss of 4-0, all of a sudden that will all get dragged up, and people's narrative will always be ours because, they have this or they have that. So I need to try and detach that from the team and detach that from the players. That was then, this is now. This is where we are. We are going to lose football matches this year. At times there is going to be struggles this year. But as long as we're aware of that and as long as we understand what we need to do to get better and improve and come out the other side of it, hopefully we can do that.
Thank you. That's very interesting. I just want to ask you about Roy Hodgson as well, because he's been doing this a very long time. In your heart of hearts, could you imagine being a football manager for 30 plus years from now? Is that something you can even get your head round?
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely remarkable. Take aside how successful Roy's been and everything. To think he's had the horsepower and the drive and for a long, long time now. It shows you how good he is at what he does and what he has done. Really, it's remarkable. Regarding myself, I mean, at the moment I'm still fresh and everything's very new, and there's that drive and that passion, and I hope that will always be there, and I'm sure it will. So, if I'm still here, can I see myself? Yeah, probably can. But saying that, he's done remarkable.
Brilliant, Scott. Thanks very much indeed. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Nick. That completes the broadcast section. We'll now move over to the written embargo sections.